Hey guys, so a quick update. You won't be seeing me riding my skateboard or BMX bikes for a couple more weeks. A couple of weeks ago I was up at the skate park. I had a little mishap doing a backside disaster that ended up in disaster, and I landed on my knee funny and sprained it pretty badly. So I've got to baby it for a couple more weeks, probably go get it checked out by the doctor. But on the bright side, this downtime gives me a chance to share a few more of my old stories with you guys. So yeah, we've all got our favorite skateboarders and BMX riders that we looked up to back in the day. Guys like Tony Hawk and Christian Hosoi, or R.L. Osborne and Woody Itzen might come to mind. But today I want to take a moment and highlight one of my favorite skateboarders, and that's Kevin Staab. This is my first real skateboard that I had back in the day. It's a Vision Gator, and I really loved it. But the reason it's in such good condition is after a couple of months of getting into skating, I became a huge fan of Kevin Staab. I would see his photos and ads in the magazines, and especially the Pirate skateboard deck from Sims, and I just had to have that deck. So that became my second skateboard, and I don't have it any longer, but I do have a few photos, so let's check those out. This first one here is the deck. Once I got it all set up, it was a purple stain, some copers, and we were still rocking the tailbones. And I got it at a shop called Altered Skates of America in Alton, Illinois. And the shopkeeper had scraps of grip tape, colored grip tape, and he's like, you can buy a whole sheet of whatever you want, or you can have those for free. So I took those for free and kind of did my own little custom grip tape job. I've got the Vision Gator there with the Staab deck, and then one of my buddies, he had the Mark Gonzalez, and then the other buddy had the Vision Punk Skulls deck. So this is just really floods me back with memories of the early days of skateboarding for me. And then a couple of months later, my family, we moved from the St. Louis area to the Richmond, Virginia area, and I still had that Staab deck there. My buddy, he had a Dogtown Aaron Murray, and we had a little launch ramp there, but I still had the Staab deck. And then being in Richmond, we weren't that far from Virginia Beach, and my mom would take me and my buddies down there a few times every summer to Mount Trashmore, to the skate park there. And I had the Staab deck. First few times I rode at the park, I was on that deck. And ever since, I've been a huge fan of Kevin Staab himself, too. He's got such a beautiful skating style. He's got those most iconic, beautiful backside ollies on vert where he just really floats up there. And then he's got such a fun-loving, just colorful, like charismatic personality with a little bit of that punk rocker attitude mixed in there. And I don't know about you guys. Can't really remember when this was. Maybe 15 years or so ago, when YouTube really started to take off. They had that Ride channel, which was new at the time, and Kevin Staab had a show on there, or a series on there, called the VHS Vault, and this was quite a bit of time before Grosso's Love Letters to Skateboarding. And so yeah, I kind of rekindled my being a fan for Kevin back in those days, and just had a lot of fun watching him reminisce of his days with some of the skaters like Tony Hawk, and that was awesome. And then around that same time, he was skating for Punk Rock Skateboards, and they decided to re-release some of his original Sims graphics, but with the Punk Rock Skateboards logo on here. And so I couldn't resist getting this Pirate deck again. I'm guessing this is about 15 years old now. I rode it for a few times at the skate park and had a lot of fun with it, but ultimately I decided I'd just rather keep it and hang it up on the wall, so I did. And the other cool thing about this deck here is he did a collaboration with Tracker Trucks, and we've got these purple 6-tracks here, and it's got his icon, the pirate skull on there, the hat icon. And so this deck is really awesome, and it reminds me of those good old days. And I love how it looks hanging on the wall. So with the two colors here, the natural stains between the Gator and the Staab look really good. And then I've got the Mike Vallely. I had that board back in the day too, and I've got a green one, and having it in between, I think it really sets off and looks great on the wall. So I've got another cool photo from back in the day, and this is my bedroom from around 1989 or 90 with my thrashed decks at that point. But I've got the Gator there, and then the Kevin Staab when it was pretty much worn out. And I've got the Mike Vallely. I had the silver one. I had the Tony Magnuson, what would you call this? The Trauma series, like the X-Ray deck. That was a mini. I loved that deck. I actually still have it out in the garage. And I have this Tony Hawk here out in the garage too. That one I got from a friend that he had thrashed it or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'll take it. And I tried to spray paint it and bring it back to life, which was a terrible idea. It didn't work. And it's kind of fun to look back on this, of all these skateboarders or skateboards with these models. I have seen all of these guys skate up close and in person, except for Gator himself. And he's in prison for murdering someone. If you guys don't know that story, it's pretty horrific and terrible. And so, yeah, I don't mind that I've never seen him skate. For all I care, that guy can rot in prison. So, moving on. Even better than seeing Kevin Staab skate, I've actually got to meet him in person a couple of times. And you know how they say don't ever meet your heroes because they never live up to the hype and they're not as cool as that you thought that they would be? That's absolutely not the case with him. He is one of the most humble and friendly guys that you would ever meet. Tony Hawk and his Birdhouse skate team came to St. Louis for a demo sometime around 2015 or 2016, and Kevin Staab was with them. And it was at an indoor, kind of more of a street facility, and Kevin doesn't really skate street, so he wasn't going to be part of the main demo. And so when they came out, I went up to Kevin and asked if he'd be willing to sign this postcard for me. And he was like, yeah, sure. He was just super friendly. He was like, yeah, let's go over here and get away from the crowd. And so he signed the postcard. This was back when he was still on the Punk Rock Skateboards team. And took a photo with me. He signed my shirt, and he was just really friendly and engaging. I just thought maybe it'd be cool to just meet him for a minute or two. And he pretty much hung out with us with very engaging conversations. And then when the demo started, we walked over to watch everybody skate. And it was really surreal seeing one of my childhood idols, Tony Hawk, out there skating, standing next to one of my other idols, Kevin Staab, who they happened to be really close buddies. And it was just amazing to see Tony do a really amazing trick, and we'd look and he'd be like, yeah. So it was cheering him on with one of Tony's best friends. It was really surreal. Kevin was just so friendly and engaging. And the other cool thing is my daughter, she just started the 9th grade that day. And so my wife wasn't going to let her miss the first day of high school. And my daughter was really into skating at that time. And she was super bummed to miss out on the demo. And yeah, he was really cool about it and recorded a little message of encouragement for her on my phone.
Hi, Sophie. What's up? Sorry we missed you today. I hope your first day of school was great. Catch you next time.
Great memories, but yeah, Kevin Staab, he was so friendly and super cool. And then about a year and a half later or so, my daughter actually got to meet Kevin out in California. We ended up getting tickets to the Gato Classic, the Legends event. My son actually won some tickets from Eddie himself on Instagram, and we got a little bit of a VIP treatment out there by Eddie and got to get really up close to some amazing skating at the Nude Bowl replica there. Saw Kevin Staab there again, and he signed my helmet for me. It was amazing. And then the next day, Tony Hawk had brought out his vert ramp, and they did a big demo there with Kevin and Christian Hosoi and Tony Magnuson, and some of the other guys were there. And so we got really up close and got to see those guys skate. It was really fun. And so this is now one of my prized possessions, to have Kevin's signature here on my helmet. I've got Hosoi's signature as well as T-Mag's on here too. I've got Staab's sticker from his punk rock skateboard days. But yeah, this Kevin Staab's autograph is awesome. I love this helmet. It's really worn out, but I'll probably not stop wearing it because it's so awesome. So yeah, here's to Kevin Staab and all the other legendary skaters from the 80s. You guys inspired us back then when we were kids, and you're still inspiring us today as you keep on ripping it up and keep shredding. And especially Kevin Staab. I doubt he would ever see this, but if you do, thank you so much for all you do for the sport and just the fun attitude that you bring. I know Kevin broke his leg last year, not too long after Tony Hawk broke his leg, and Tony had did a little, it's not a GoFundMe, but he made these prints and he signed them, Tony Hawk, and I think they were around $50, and I would have never paid $50 for an autographed photo, but the proceeds went to help Kevin's medical bills and get him back on his feet. So I was happy to do that to help support Kevin. It's really rad, and in the end, I've got a really cool photo here, so that's awesome. So tell me, have you ever met any of your skate or BMX heroes? If you've got any cool stories, please share in the comments below. I would love to hear them. So those are my stories for today. Keep embracing the nostalgia. Stay safe out there, especially at the skate park when you're trying backside disasters. And I've got some exciting stuff lined up for you the next few weeks. Until then, take care. All right, bye-bye.